Hi there, folks. Luke McDonald checking in after my second week completed of my final 6-week teaching block in my York Bachelor of Education program. Happy to say it's been an excellent 2 weeks, but with that being said, it's definitely also given me some time to reflect and critique my teaching practice and really finalize my problem of practice that I'd like to examine with this research project. So without further ado, the problem of practice within my own teaching that I'll be examining for the remainder of these 4 weeks will be in terms of my ability to successfully implement and sustain culturally relevant teaching practices. Student engagement and student inquiry has always been, I think at the heart of my teaching, something that I value greatly. But I admittedly, all my reading and studying of culturally relevant pedagogies um, you know, the lofty expectations laid out by some of the authors in that literature at times prove daunting, specifically remaining consistently high with your expectations for each and every student in tandem with reflexively integrating each student's unique lived experience into your teaching to promote engagement um, and in the name of equity, of course. So keeping consistently high expectations and really getting to know and utilize those relationships with individual students is something that I'm 100% for, something I'm very excited to do, but nonetheless, as I said before, quite daunting. However, it's one such strategy that I've moved into to kind of begin to start working towards my goal of improving my implementation of culturally relevant pedagogy was to create a series of formative slash diagnostic activities with my students that more so than assigning them a grade or working towards this summative project were just to break the ice and let me get to know them a little bit better. So right here, I can see I got two big folders, one for my both grade 11 classes that I'm teaching, and my grade 9 one, which is in the office back at my workroom. These are just some student samples as well. I won't show them too much up to the camera, but what these are is called an I am poem. I started an activity by having students critique generalizations of Canadian identity, specifically Molson Canadian's I Am Canadian beer campaign. And I used that as a way to introduce this activity. Essentially, I had each student write an I am poem about their life, which they wrote down their hopes, fears, ambitions, strengths, characteristics, and upbringing. I wanted this to be an assignment that I could get to know them a little bit more and integrate that student inquiry that is, of course, at the heart of culture relevant pedagogy. Throughout this process, I've had the chance to read them all over, grade them, and I wrote about 4 or 5 points on each one of what I feel I learned from the student from their poetry. My problem now, in connecting this to my problem of practice, is how am I successfully integrating this? Because as I said, it's been a great 2 weeks, but it sure has been busy. I feel like I'm under constant uh, pressure, some self-induced, some administration, obviously, and curriculum-induced anxiety to move through my course content. But I am admittedly struggling with finding meaningful ways rather than just inferences or plugins of student identity. I'm struggling to find meaningful ways to incorporate my students' unique lived experiences into my teaching, specifically my two grade 12 university English courses, which I'm engaging in a novel study of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Nonetheless, my game plan is to hopefully reread them over tonight. Um, and come Tuesday, when I will actually have them all graded and handed out back to my students, I hope to integrate another maybe class building activity where I'll obviously ask students for consent, but to maybe share and read some of the more interesting points that I've heard from these poems, or maybe I may even challenge my students to read them all aloud as a class in order to build that sense of class community and to, again, engage people in the students' lived experience. So moving forward, yeah, I'm going to be working on culturally relevant pedagogy. I'm going to be continuing doing my readings on culturally relevant pedagogy. I just had a chance to read over Ladson Billings, but that's just good teaching. Excellent article, which is definitely inspiring me towards, better implementing this practice in my own pedagogy. So thank you everyone for the awesome support and looking forward to reading all of your stories as well. I hope everyone is having as great experience at practicum as I am. And just remember, as Dory says, keep on swimming, folks. Okay? All the best. Have a great weekend.